Hello everyone and welcome to SK Shadow. Welcome back to another episode of our F1 22 My Team Career Mode. And this time we are at Zandvoort, the Dutch Grand Prix, the home of Max Verstappen, who put it in the bin in our last race. So let's see if he can have a better one for his home crowd. We managed to get a podium last time out, so we'll be looking to carry on the good form, hopefully. Get ourselves in the points again. Maybe Jenson Button in the points as well. A double points finish would be fantastic. You see the weather, it's actually going to be raining near the end of the race. So we might try a certain strategy that we did in Spa, see if it works again. And you see Mercedes have actually brought us a power unit upgrade. So we'll be having a little bit more power as well. Although that's not necessarily that important at a track like Zandvoort. But we're into qualifying here. We're going to do our first lap. Really, qualifying is very, very important here. It's sort of like a fast Monaco in a way. There's just not a lot of overtaking in general. So where we qualify is going to be vitally important because it's, like I say, especially if we go for sort of like a hard to soft, well, hard to inters, I suppose, strategy. We will be a sitting duck all the way until the rain. So we definitely need to try and qualify high up. And our first lap is a 1:11.9, which is faster than George Russell in the Mercedes. That was unexpected, especially given our last couple of qualifying performances haven't been great. Jenson Button, under a tenth off of our pace, so he's doing all right as well. We are a little bit slower than Lando Norris, about 3 tenths, so we do need to find time because our car should be quicker than the McLaren. But we are pretty much best of the rest apart from him. So for our second run, probably look to gain like a tenth or two, I think should do it. I mean, I know that AI do tend to gain crazy amounts of time right at the end, but not normally more than a couple of tenths as we start our second lap. And that was a Haas of Magnussen, I think, had just gone into the gravel and binned it. So that's his qualifying session over. Not sure what his first lap was, but whether it will be good enough, we'll have to see. But you can see we lost a bit of time there anyway from the distraction of Haas, but we're not gaining a huge amount of time. We've dropped down to 8th so far, 9th now. We really do need to be up in the pace here. And now 10th, 11th. We're falling so far back. We're already 3 tenths off of the pace of Norris in P9. How have they done this? 12th now. We've dropped from like 6th place to 12th. All these guys have found so much pace, it's crazy. We found ourselves a couple of attempts as we crossed the line. Whether that'll be good enough, we'll have to see. It puts us P10. How much time did these guys find then? Jenson Button at 1:11.2. He gained almost 9 tenths from his first to second run. That's crazy. I didn't mention, but it was a short qualifying, so this is where we're going to start. Not too bad because we are starting in the points, but could have done with starting a bit higher up, especially with the rain coming in late in the race. But we'll just have to see what we can do with it.
For years, the passionate Dutch fans have been easy to find trackside in races across Europe. Here, this weekend, it's even easier to find the Dutch fans as they have a race to call their own once again. A warm welcome to all of our viewers in the Netherlands and around the globe, of course, as we get underway for the Dutch Grand Prix. A lap of this short 2.6 mile Zandvoort circuit then features 14 corners, 10 to the right and 4 to the left, with a 678 metre main straight into turn 1, aka Tarzan corner, which with DRS open will be the best overtaking opportunity on the track. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole. And Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid we have Sainz, Perez, Sir Lewis Hamilton and Button, Bottas, Paul, Mick Schumacher and Esteban Ocon, Ricciardo, Gasly, George Russell, they've taken a grid penalty, and Vettel, Norris, Fernando Alonso, Lance Stroll and Guan Yu Zhou. Albon, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Tsunoda, Latifi and Kevin Magnussen fills the last spot on the grid. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race.
All right, so because of penalties, we actually start in P8, so not quite as bad as it originally was going to be in P10. Does mean a few faster guys will be behind us, though, so we will have to watch out if they do manage to make their way through the pack. It does suggest a softer hard strategy, but given we do have the chance of rain at the end, I am going to try a hard to soft strategy. Just wait out until the rain, but we'll see what happens. You've got Charles Leclerc lining up alongside Max Verstappen. Max obviously going to be trying to win his home race here, and it's lights out, and away we go. Charles Leclerc instantly covers the inside line there as Carlos Sainz from third place is momentarily in P1. He is side by side with his Ferrari teammate here now. How's he done that? Max Verstappen now down into P3. And they're still side by side, the two Ferraris, but Leclerc does actually back out. So Carlos Sainz has managed to get himself from P3 to P1. But we'll see what we've been up to during the first lap. We had an awful start on the hard tyres, as I guess is to be expected, and we're down into P10. Pierre Gasly goes for a move there, and we actually make contact. He ends up slowing down and almost getting overtaken by George Russell there. So that's not a very good day for him. And George Russell is still very, very much on the tail of Pierre Gasly here. And then you can see on his pit straight now, he pulls over to the inside. He's going to be trying to get past the AlphaTauri here. And he sends it down the inside, and actually sends it down the inside of us. What is he doing? He actually makes contact with us as well. I don't know if he got wing damage from that, but that was crazy. I wasn't expecting it. Anyway, we look at what our teammate has been doing. He has been following Sergio Perez in a Red Bull, and he's actually going for an overtaking move on Checo there, and he's made it. He's done it. He's up into P5. So we've got one of our team members, Mr. Button, is fighting with Red Bulls, and we're here trying to keep an AlphaTauri behind us. Something has gone wrong here, hasn't it? But on here we've got a yellow flag, and that is Perez. He's binned it. He's spun, and that is it, really. For his race, he's probably going to be relegated to the back for quite a while now, unless he can try and get through the pack. But like I said before, this is hardly the place for overtaking, really, unless you are just miles faster than the car in front of you. On to lap 3 now. DRS is enabled. We are a lot slower than the guys ahead, so we are nowhere near DRS for those. Russell, 2.5 seconds, 3.5 seconds now by the end of that 3. But Norris is most definitely within DRS. He is right there on our gearbox. He's going for a move on the outside, but we give him a big squeeze, and it's just never going to happen in that corner unless he manages to get the inside. Then I guess we would have to back out. But in that corner, you just take the inside line, let the AI try and overtake you, just push him off the track. That's the way you do it. But he had an insane exit there. You see the closing speed he had on us. That's crazy. We move over to the inside to try and avoid him overtaking us and really squeeze him very hard. And I think he actually makes contact with us because he was trying to avoid going into the gravel, which I suppose is fair enough. No damage though, so not too much of an issue, and we are still in P10. Now I know we're being a little bit aggressive here with our defensive moves on Lando Norris, as we have done quite a lot actually, I think, in our career. Lando Norris has always been that thorn in our side quite a few times, as lap 5 he's trying to do it again in this corner. Once again we take the inside line and he has to back out. Every single time that's going to happen unless he gets the inside line. On the pit straight, he's still close to us. We do exactly the same move again. This is almost spitting image of what happened the lap before, except he's learnt from his previous attempt and has backed out. But backing out has allowed Pierre Gasly to try and get alongside him there. Didn't happen, but you know, we could have been fighting an AlphaTauri instead, which probably would have been a bit easier to keep behind us. We see George Russell getting past Esteban Ocon, so he's doing a decent job at getting through the pack after he had his massive lunge on us. Now we jump aboard with ourselves again on lap 6. Once again, I'm sure you guessed it, Norris going for the same move. We're probably going to be seeing that corner quite a few times in this video because it seems to be, well, they are kind of the only two overtaking spots, aren't they? That corner and going into turn 1, if you can stick side by side with the person you're fighting. But it seems like Norris has not quite had such a good exit there. and he wasn't able to close in on us. Lap 8, Fernando Alonso's following Pierre Gasly, who locks up and almost goes into the Alpine's side pod. Crazy moves going on there. Lando Norris all out of shape, and then he locks up. Pierre Gasly thinks, hey, I might try and go down the inside of there, but Lando Norris very quickly shuts that off. And now Pierre Gasly is trying to get back past Fernando Alonso after he made his little lock-up mistake earlier. Is he going to be able to stay ahead? Daniel Ricciardo's thinking he might try and get in on some of this action. He has a very opportunistic lunge there on the inside of Pierre Gasly, but nothing has come from it. We all know, well, maybe not this season, but previously, Daniel Ricciardo has been one for late lunges, as we were on board with Leclerc there, and Carlos Sainz locks up as well. So many people locking up, especially into that corner. Are their tyres starting to die off? Was the softs a bad choice for these guys? Who knows, but that means Leclerc is now up in P1. Lap 10, a lot of people are coming into the pits now for their first stops, because obviously, like I was saying, they start on softs. They'll be onto the hards, and that shows you just how much time we were losing on these hard tyres. It's actually insane. I didn't think the tyre deficit would be this big. But Leclerc and Hamilton were able to come in and come back out and still be 3 and 5 seconds ahead of us. That is how much time we've been losing on these tyres. So we really, really, really need our strategy to play off here. We need it to rain a few laps after everyone comes in, as on lap 12 our teammate has been into the pits and he's now side by side with us, and we've just about managed to be ahead of him. So even our teammate was pretty much a pit stop ahead of us. It's crazy. I mean, just we're so slow on these tyres. At this point I was thinking maybe I just come in for some softs, as Jenson Button goes for a Daniel Ricciardo-esque dive bomb there on the inside. That was never going to happen. Now Daniel Ricciardo, the man himself, goes for a dive bomb. Everyone's dive bombing this race by the seams of it, but seemingly nobody's actually managed to turn it into an overtake. Lap 13, we decide that it's probably not worth fighting our teammate, because he is on a completely different strategy to us, and if our strategy pays off, we should be ahead of him by the end of the race anyway, so we'll wait to see. Obviously, Daniel Ricciardo behind us started on the mediums. He hasn't actually pit yet, but we do have Russell 2 seconds behind. So if we can keep him behind and, you know, increase the gap between him and Button, then we'll definitely help our teammate out. On to lap 15, we've managed to stick with the DRS of Button as well. Mark has told us that there is a problem with our car. What is it? He said that last time, I think, but nothing actually happened. Hopefully it's nothing too major, but we'll just forget about that for now and focus on staying in the DRS of Button. But we can't, because there's the smoke, and that is our engine gone. We've been saying in previous episodes that we've been lucky with the lack of engine failures. We only had our one in Jeddah, I think it was, while Button seemingly having one every couple of races. But there we go, our luck finally run out, and that's it. That is us out of the race. We don't even get to see if our interesting strategy would have paid off. I doubt it would, because the rain didn't look like it was coming anytime soon, and those hards were very slow. But like I say, we don't get the chance to see. Ferrari win the race, as expected. I'm guessing it's Charles Leclerc. We'll see in a second. Yeah, there we go. Max Verstappen came P2 in the end. He was unable to win in his home race, but he did give the crowd the best lap of the race with a 1:13.2. We did a 1:14.0. Sorry, no. We did a 1:14.8, and Jensen did a 1:14.0. So with our best laps, he was 8 tenths quicker than us. Absolutely mad. So we'll have a look at the standings again, like usual. We drop points to Max Verstappen. I don't really care. He's not our fight. Jenson Button is now tied on points with Fernando Alonso. So if he can get past him, that would be great, because Alpine is technically our constructor rival, as we have gained even more points than them and pretty much clear. Alpine is the constructor rival, but the past few races, they've pretty much fallen off, and it seems to be McLaren that are in the points here, so that is helping us. But other than that, thank you very much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, all that fantastic stuff, and hit the bell notification icon so you don't miss our race in Monza. And I'm telling you now, you really, really don't want to miss it. It's going to be good.